Well, we're gathered here today to ask Rynn Para a few questions about the new project that she is in the process of creating, university. Oh, I'm feeling nervous. I'll just ask you these questions and you can do your thing. In a marketplace where there are so many different teachings and approaches to personal, psychological, and spiritual development, what distinguishes the courses that you offer from other offerings?
Well, for the most part, there is personal development, psychological development, and spiritual development. Whereas what I offer is psycho-spiritual development, which acknowledges that there's this integrated understanding that they are one and the same. They're not the same. They're different parts of you. The psychological part and the spiritual part are both part of your personal expression, but they go hand in hand. And many of the complaints, like as a parapsychologist, the clients who come to me, many of their complaints hinge on the fact that they can't tell one from the other. Do I have a psychological problem or do I have a spiritual problem? And so your belief system will lean you one way or another. And so many times we have people coming in claiming psychic or supernatural things when really they have a mental health issue. And then we have other people who come in thinking, oh, this is all just in my head. I just need to like suck it up and get better. But there's actually a spiritual element to what's happening to them. And so because there is so much crossover in the work that I do, because there's so much crossover in it, I recognized very, very early on that we need to address people as whole and complete beings, where these two realms are not separate things. They're responsive to each other and they're constantly communicating. And so because I both address them separately, but always acknowledge the reality and influence of both upon each other, it makes it a bit different than others. Another part of it is that I don't have an agenda. I'm not trying to do or prove anything. I'm not talking out of my ass because of self-importance. I'm responding to questions that people are asking. And I would rather other people talked about it, but apparently they can't. And so because I've been put into this position, it makes it a little different because it's responsive. And it is very inclusive and not judgmental because I don't have a thing I'm trying to make you do. I have ways that you can accomplish your goal. And that makes it very different because most teachers out there, most edutainers, as we're called, educational entertainers, most have their point, their thing that they want to prove to everybody, and they want to use you as their case study to prove as a testimonial that what they do has value so they can sell themselves. And one of the proofs in the fact that my work is so diverse and that I'm always telling people, I'm like, okay, I'll give you the teachings, I'll give you the premise, and then run with it. Let's see what human beings can be capable of when we're all running in opposite directions. We all came from that same starting point. We all have certain pathways that we have to go, but let's run and just go feral. Because that is my goal. I'm not possessive of the end result of content. And so that's where it's not like, okay, you have to execute this skill and be this embodiment of this picture of what I say perfect is in order for you to have accomplished and get your certificate. It makes it very different because like you can have goals and they're very clear and it's like, okay, clearly here we go. But a lot of the work we do is so interlaced that it creates a totally unique expression in the end of it. I think that if 14 people all went through one of my programs together, they should look like 14 completely different people at the end of it. They shouldn't all look like 14 me's at the end of it. I think if that happened, I did it wrong. And they got led astray. And so that makes a huge difference because I'm not trying to make little models of me. I'm trying to uncover thems. And so the courses approach it from a very integrated, holistic, and personal, unique perspective where a lot of them kind of cover way more bases than you think they're going to in such a short amount of time.
I can attest to that.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why we started developing programs instead of just individual courses is because at the end, people are like, okay, where does this fit in? Where does this fit in? And the idea behind the programs is you're working on all of these different facets of yourself simultaneously or sequentially, and it all creates a picture in the end. And so piece by piece, you start to build the final product, which is you.
What will that look like?
You tell me.
Yeah. Well, this is very exciting. Those of us who know you have been watching the development of this and participating in our own evolution along with you, and it's a very exciting journey. So thank you. What's that?
My case studies.
Your tiny pets?
Pets. Yeah. As I look.